Time to talk Patriots with our new WEEI.com Patriots beat guy, Mike Kadlick, who joins us right now on the Harbor One hotline for the first time on this program, I believe. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Greg. What's going on? Yes, first time.
Welcome
Good
to the
first
show.
time for everything.
We're doing
Yeah,
great.
thank you. I appreciate it.
So not out of the ordinary, but Bill cancels the day today. Any indication what that is about, if anything?
No, I think it's more so just like you said. They usually do this basically every year. I know they did it last year. They've done it in years prior. I think if they get the work in that they wanted to do over the first 2 days, they sort of just let them go early. I know yesterday when we were out there, we saw them kind of empty the bag, if you will, with different drills. They worked harder than you would think they would for a second day going into a third. They gave a lot of like special teamers, some 7-on-7. Some 7-on-7 run. Malik Cunningham was out there. I know Ed Lee and some of the the younger, less experienced guys. They gave them a lot of runs. So I think they were sort of just emptying the clip, if you will, and getting them out there early.
Wiggy is suggesting that maybe they want to show DeAndre Hopkins that they don't practice very often around here.
I heard that. That's not a bad thought, actually, Wiggy. I kind of like that. Everybody else is out of the building when he comes in because they let them go early. It's a pretty good thought.
Mike, now, we're not there, but one of the things that Bill and some of these players made it seem like is that there was going to be an open competition for a lot of people, especially at the quarterback position. Has Bailey Zappe been getting snaps or good reps at the quarterback position when you're there and you're looking at how the reps have been distributed between him and Mac Jones?
Yeah, the only time we really saw that was yesterday. Again, sort of an inkling to me that they were just giving him some reps with the first team yesterday before they went on, this summer break that we're talking about. But besides yesterday, with the 1 or 2 drives he got in 11-on-11 drills with the first team, it's basically been all Mac with the first team, with the double tights and Gesicki and Henry, with Parker and Bourne. Besides that one drive yesterday, it's been all Mac with the first team. So no, to me, there's really been no indication of a competition aside from them, again, giving Zappe that quick drive yesterday. So, no, it's been all Mac.
Did you hear that, Sean?
Yeah.
All Mac.
So it looks like it'll be all Mac.
Because it's all Mac doesn't mean it's all good.
Kadlick, you are welcome. I know you're a journalist and you are supposed to be impartial, but you are welcome on Mac Island if you'd like to join me and Curtis there.
Oh, I'm Team Mac all day, guys. Don't worry about it at all.
Perfect.
Wow.
Okay.
We're 3 people on the island.
Me and Curtis talked about that last weekend on Ken and Curtis. I am very much on Team Mac. Look, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he got screwed last season. And, again, not that you earn or deserve much in the NFL, but I think he deserves a chance to shine with Bill O'Brien, who comes in. And, again, they seem to have a pretty good rapport so far early. Defense won yesterday, and it was so-so the day before. But besides that, through OTAs and the first day of minicamp, Mac looks comfortable back there. So, again, I give him a chance this season. I think he can prove a lot of people wrong.
I mentioned this earlier, but I have heard the timing and the chemistry between Mac and Gesicki described as undeniable. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's been really good. Undeniable is very strong. But again, I don't hate the term. I think, look, he's a guy who's like a wide receiver in a tight end's body. I don't know if he's going to come out and really block anybody per se. I know they have some struggles in the blocking department at the tight end position with Hunter Henry and Gesicki. But if they're going to go double tight and they can use him on the inside, on the outside, he's athletic, he's strong. And he can make a lot of plays. He did it in Miami. So, yeah, there's been a good rapport with them, not only on the field, but also off the field at some Taylor Swift concerts of the like at Gillette Stadium. So.
And, Mike, congratulations. I've been working with Greg for 4 years now. It's the first time anybody's ever said very strong in response to something about him. Yesterday, we heard from Matthew Judon, who tried to do the Dog Ate My Twitter account, discussing the public recruitment of DeAndre Hopkins. Was that, I wasn't there, was that said in jest? And how strange is it, I know it's you've been on the beat a couple years elsewhere, for you to see the Patriots so open about a pursuit of a potential free agent?
Yeah, there's no way he's not running his Twitter account. That was definitely tongue-in-cheek, I think. Again, he gave a little smirk when he said it, too. No, he's definitely been on the recruitment tour. But it is a little bit strange to hear it. Again, normally when we talk to Belichick about those types of things. He basically says, look, I'm not commenting on anybody outside of this organization. I'm not commenting on anyone that's not on this team. And though he sort of dodged the Hopkins questions, he did make it a point to say that we have been in contact with him and that he's not a travel agent, but it's in the works. So that's a little interesting. Goes to show that they obviously have interest and want it to be known. The only person who didn't really give into it was Devontae Parker, who I think could and would potentially be the odd man out should they make a move for Hopkins. But again, with their thinning receiver room, with Juju out with injury, Tyquan Thornton out with injury, I don't really think they can afford cutting ways with any of those guys, even if they do bring in Hopkins. So to answer your question, I do think they want it to be known, and I do think there is some real interest there, and I don't think I guess to close up the thought, I don't think that somebody else is running Matthew Judon's Twitter account. I think he is in on the Hopkins train just like everybody else.
And now there's been a lot of talk about Christian Gonzalez. What's been your assessment out there watching him play? Just his physical measurements and just the way he looks like he's been able to compete.
I would say he looks day one ready. He's long, he's athletic. We saw that in college. He's got that sort of quiet, confident demeanor like you saw with Stephon Gilmore when he was here. You know, he doesn't really say much, but when he does, it's as simple as like, look, I'm confident in my abilities and I'm excited to be here. So definitely a Belichick guy on that front. But no, he's long. I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". He's going to be able to cover on the outside. They threw him into the mix right away on the outside at cornerback opposite John Jones and Jack Jones on the other side. So he's going to step in right away and play for this team. And I expect, again, it's a tough division, AFC East. You talk about Stephon Diggs, who I guess he didn't report yesterday, but Stephon Diggs, Garrett Wilson, you're going to have to cover Tyreek Hill and or Jalen Waddle in Miami. So he's going to have a challenge, but I think he's up for it. He looks really good so far.
Speaking of what you saw out there in your assessment, surprised that they cut James Robinson or not so much?
A little bit, but I mean, clearly he just couldn't stay healthy. Again, that was something that his injury was basically not guaranteed whatsoever. I think he made like $150,000 for being here just for the however many weeks he was. Besides that, it was not guaranteed. So they clearly had questions about his injuries. But no, he didn't really pop too much. I was kind of surprised because I thought they were just going to work him back and be sort of a spell guy for Ramondre Stevenson. But I guess they have confidence in the other guys, the young guys they drafted last year, Pierre Strong, Kevin Harris. But again, like I said, Robinson didn't really pop through the first couple practices, but Strong and Harris haven't really either. So clearly it's just an injury problem with him. And I think you're going to see a lot of Ty Montgomery in the backfield as well. They're going to use him as a do-it-all guy at wide receiver and running back. And again, with those two rooms now thinning out due to injury, I think you're going to see a lot of Ty Montgomery this season if he himself can stay healthy.
Yeah, I know Bill kind of raved about him yesterday a little bit, and so do you expect Ty Montgomery to really get that many snaps? Like this is Ramondre Stevenson's offense, right? It's just going to be a sprinkle of Ty Montgomery in those third down situations, passing yardage situations.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. But again, when they did that last year with Stevenson, he sort of got run down at the end of the year. So I think they want to, if they can, try and spell him as much as possible to keep him healthy for, a full 17 games and hopefully into the playoffs if they can get there. But no, they'll sprinkle in Montgomery. And yeah, you're right, Shime. You said that Belichick raved about Ty Montgomery yesterday, he said he looked very healthy, which again, he's on the other side of 30 and a guy who's coming off 2 injuries from last season at 2 positions in wide receiver and running back who don't do well really past that 30-year-old mark. Except for DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to be sensational past 30. But no, I think they'll use Montgomery again as a spell guy, and hopefully again he can stay healthy because he didn't last season.
Rob Ninkovich said on this show yesterday he could see this defense being a top 5 defense. Your impression on that?
Yeah, top 5. I mean, it's a ceiling for sure, but I think they can get there. It's going to depend on the health of, I guess, the cornerback room because I think it's a stronger position group they have with, if they stay healthy with Gonzalez and, John Jones, Jack Jones, Marcus Jones, guys who shined last year, but sort of in like a secondary role in the secondary, if you will, where now they're going to be called on to, lock down the other side opposite Christian Gonzalez, again, who's a rookie. So it could be hit or miss in the secondary, but I think their safety room is awesome with, Peppers, another guy Belichick, raved about yesterday. Kyle Duggar's obviously probably hopefully going to be a Pro Bowler. Matthew Judon, Josh Uche, they have Keon White coming in. So, yeah, they have guys at basically all three levels. And I think, again, they won the day yesterday. They were hooting and hollering and sort of giving the offense crap when they were, beating them down yesterday. So I think they have a lot of confidence as well. Marte Mapu obviously has shined. I'm sure you guys have heard that name a million times across the show, the rookie. So, yeah, they have a lot of unicorns, as Matthew Judon called them yesterday. So I think they can be pretty good. I think it's gonna depend on the offense for the success this season.
Last one for me, Mike. Left tackle Trent Brown, the tackle position in general seems to be the biggest concern. Why didn't they address this more in the offseason?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I was sort of someone who was fine with it as it happened. I wasn't too high on the I wanted them to try and go get a guy like Orlando Brown or one of the legs, but once they didn't, I thought they were more concerned about the scheme from last season with Matt Patricia running it, and you bring in a guy like Adrian Clem who can settle things down along the offensive line. And they were not healthy last year either, so maybe they thought it was a help, and I sort of trust them in it. So you bring in Calvin Anderson, you bring in Riley Reif, you go from there, you add the depth that you didn't have last season, bring Connor McDermott back, have Trent on one side, and go from there. But Trent hasn't been there. He missed his flight. That whole story is another thing. But yesterday they struggled a lot, and it kind of looked like last season along the offensive line yesterday, I'm not going to lie. So why didn't they do it? I think they thought they had confidence in what they could do. And again, it's only the beginning of June now, and it already looks like a disaster. So we'll see what happens on that front. But again, no pads on, so we'll see what happens at full pads, see what happens when Trent comes back for a full training camp and go from there. But not good in the offensive line department so far.
Mike Kadlick, well done this morning.
Good job.
May have to make
Thanks,
this
guys.
a regular thing between us here.
For sure.
So, all right, thank
Anytime
you.
you want me, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll check in again. That is Mike Kadlick, our new beat guy at WEEI.com when it comes to the Patriots.